Most people think growing vegetables means you need a yard, a garden bed, and months of sunshine. But that could not be further from the truth. Dozens of productive, fast-growing vegetables will thrive right inside your home with nothing more than a bright window, a few containers, and a little know-how. After 3 decades of growing food in spaces of every size, I have seen apartment gardeners harvest more than they can eat without ever stepping outside. Today, I am walking you through 25 vegetables you can grow indoors that absolutely explode with growth, even in the tiniest apartments. Number 21 on this list is one most people would never think to grow inside. And the bonus tip at the end will supercharge every single crop on this list. The first vegetable every indoor grower should start with is leaf lettuce. No crop is easier, faster, or more forgiving for apartment gardening than loose leaf lettuce varieties. Sow seeds directly on the surface of moist potting. Mix in a shallow container, press them gently and mist lightly. Lettuce germinates in just 4 to 7 days, and you can begin harvesting baby leaves in as little as 3 weeks. It does not need intense light, making it ideal for east or west facing windows or a modest grow light. Varieties like Salad Bowl, Red Sails, and Black-Seeded Simpson are perfect for indoor growing because they tolerate lower light and cooler temperatures. Use the cut and come again method by snipping leaves about an inch above the soil line, and the plant will keep producing new growth for weeks. Rotate in a fresh container every 3 to 4 weeks, and you will have a continuous supply of crisp, homegrown lettuce year-round without ever visiting the produce aisle. The second indoor vegetable that produces incredibly well is the green onion. This might be the single most practical crop for apartment dwellers because you can literally regrow it from grocery store scraps. Save the bottom 1 to 2 inches of a bunch of scallions with the roots attached, place them in a small glass of water on a sunny windowsill, and within 3 to 4 days you will see fresh green shoots pushing upward. For longer-term production, transplant those rooted ends into a narrow pot of well-draining soil and place it near your brightest window. Green onions tolerate partial shade better than most vegetables, which makes them perfect for less than ideal indoor light conditions. Evergreen Hardy White is an excellent variety if you want to start from seed. You can snip the green tops repeatedly, and the plants keep regenerating. A single windowsill pot of green onions can supply your kitchen for months, adding fresh flavor to soups, eggs, salads, and stir-fries at zero cost. The third vegetable that explodes with growth indoors is spinach. Spinach is a cool season crop, which works in your favor as an indoor grower because most homes stay in the 60 to 70 degree Fahrenheit range that spinach loves. So, seeds 1/2 inch deep and 2 inches apart in a container at least 6 inches deep with rich, well-draining potting mix. Spinach germinates in 5 to 10 days and reaches harvestable size in about 30 to 40 days. Give it at least 4 to 6 hours of bright light from a window or grow light. Bloomsdale Longstanding is a classic variety with crinkled, dark green leaves that is well suited to indoor conditions. Space is a smooth leaf variety perfect for fresh salads. Harvest the outer leaves first, and the plant will keep producing new ones from the center. Because spinach naturally prefers cooler conditions, it actually performs better indoors than many warm season crops. A few pots in rotation will keep you in fresh spinach for smoothies, salads, and cooking all year. Now, if you are finding this video helpful so far, I want to share something special with you. I have put together a complete step-by-step guide called the 60-Day System for Your First Abundant Harvest. It is everything I have learned over 3 decades of gardening, organized into a simple day-by-day plan you can start this season. It covers the complete 60-day planning calendar, the raised bed blueprint with exact soil mix ratios, and a beginner pest and disease field guide, so you can fix problems before you lose a single plant. If you struggle with maximizing your harvest in small spaces, knowing exactly when to plant what, or building the right soil from the start, this guide was made for you. Just click the link in the description right below this video, Scroll down a little and you will see it. Or if you are watching on a TV or computer, take out your phone, open your camera, and hold it up to the QR code on screen. A link will pop up, just tap it. Either way works. All right, let us continue. The fourth vegetable on our list is microgreens, and if you want the fastest visible results of any indoor crop, this is it. Microgreens are simply young seedlings of vegetables and herbs, harvested at the first or second true leaf stage, typically 7 to 14 days after sowing. Spread seeds densely across the surface of a shallow tray filled with an inch of moist potting mix or even a damp paper towel. Cover lightly, mist daily, and place under a grow light or near a bright window. Popular varieties include sunflower, radish, broccoli, pea shoots, and red cabbage, each with distinct flavors ranging from nutty to peppery to mildly sweet. Microgreens are packed with concentrated nutrients, often containing 4 to 40 times the vitamins and minerals of their mature counterparts. They require almost no space, no deep containers, and no special equipment. You can grow them on a kitchen counter, a bookshelf under a small light, or a windowsill. Start a new tray every 5 to 7 days, and you will always have a fresh batch ready for salads, sandwiches, smoothies, and garnishes. The fifth vegetable to grow indoors is the radish, the speed champion of the vegetable world. Radishes go from seed to harvest in as few as 22 to 30 days, making them one of the most instantly gratifying crops for apartment gardeners. Sow seeds a 1/4 inch deep and 1 inch apart in a container at least 6 inches deep with loose, well-draining soil. Give them a spot with at least 6 hours of bright light. Cherry Belle is the classic round red variety that performs well in containers, and French breakfast is an elongated type with a milder bite. Water consistently for smooth, crisp roots and thin seedlings early, so each radish has room to fill out. Harvest as soon as the top of the root peaks above the soil surface. The greens are edible too, with a pleasant peppery flavor that works well in salads. Start a new pot every 2 weeks, and you will have a rolling supply of fresh, crunchy radishes without ever needing a garden bed. Coming in at number 6 are cherry tomatoes, the crown jewel of indoor vegetable gardening. Compact, determinate varieties like Red Robin, Tiny Tim, and Micro Tom were practically designed for windowsill growing, staying just 6 to 12 inches tall while producing clusters of sweet, bite-sized fruits. Sow seeds a 1/4 inch deep in a pot at least 8 to 10 inches wide, with rich, well-draining potting mix. Cherry tomatoes are the most light-hungry crop on this list, needing a minimum of 8 to 10 hours of bright light daily, so a south-facing window supplemented with a grow light is ideal. Keep temperatures between 65 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Water when the top inch of soil dries out, and feed every 2 weeks with a balanced liquid fertilizer once flowering begins. You may need to gently shake the plant or use a small paintbrush to pollinate the flowers indoors since there is no wind or bee activity. A single Tiny Tim plant can produce 50 or more cherry tomatoes over a season, giving you a steady supply of homegrown sweetness right from your apartment. The seventh vegetable that thrives indoors is kale, one of the most nutritious and resilient greens you can grow anywhere. Kale tolerates lower light conditions better than many vegetables, which gives it a real advantage for apartment growers with limited window space. Sow seeds a 1/4 inch deep in a container at least 8 inches deep with compost-rich potting mix. Lacinato, also known as dinosaur kale, has dark blue-green leaves with a rich, slightly sweet flavor and a more compact growth habit that suits container life well. Red Russian is another beautiful variety with tender purple-tinged leaves. Give kale at least 4 to 6 hours of light, water consistently, and feed every 3 to 4 weeks with a balanced organic fertilizer. Harvest the lower outer leaves first, and the plant will continue producing from the center for months. Kale actually tastes sweeter in cooler conditions, which means an indoor environment near a window in fall, and winter produces some of the best flavored leaves you will ever eat. The eighth indoor vegetable is arugula, a peppery green that grows so fast indoors it will astonish you. Arugula germinates in as few as 4 to 7 days and reaches harvest size in just 3 to 4 weeks from sowing. Scatter seeds on the surface of moist potting, mix in a shallow container. Press gently and keep moist. It does not need deep soil or intense light, thriving with just 4 to 5 hours of bright light daily. Astro is a popular variety for its mild pepper flavor and quick maturity, while Sylvetta is a wild type with more intense, nutty flavor and slower bolting. Use the cut and come again method to harvest repeatedly, and sow a fresh container every 2 to 3 weeks for uninterrupted production. Arugula adds a gourmet touch to salads, pizzas, pasta, and sandwiches. Because it prefers cooler temperatures and bolts in heat, the consistent indoor climate of most apartments is actually ideal for growing it year-round. The 9th vegetable to grow in your apartment is Swiss chard. This gorgeous leafy green is remarkably adaptable and produces continuously for months from a single planting. Sow seeds 1/2 inch deep and about 4 inches apart in a container at least 8 inches deep. Swiss chard tolerates a wide range of light conditions, doing well with 5 to 6 hours of brightness. Bright Lights is a stunning variety that produces stems in a rainbow of colors, including red, orange, yellow, pink, and white, making it as ornamental as it is edible. Ford Hook Giant is another reliable choice with thick white stems and deep green leaves. Harvest the outer leaves regularly by cutting them at the base, and the plant will keep pushing new growth from the center. Chard handles warmth better than spinach, so it will not bolt in a slightly warm apartment the way spinach might during summer. Feed monthly with a balanced fertilizer and keep the soil consistently moist for the best production. Coming in at number 10 is bok choy, a fast-growing Asian green that is tailor-made for indoor containers. Bok choy goes from seed to harvest in as little as 30 to 45 days for baby varieties and thrives in the cooler, consistent temperatures of an indoor environment. Sow seeds 1/4 inch deep and 2 inches apart in a container at least 6 inches deep. Shanghai bok choy and Meiqing choy are compact varieties that stay small and produce beautifully in pots. Give them 4 to 6 hours of bright light and keep the soil consistently moist. You can harvest the entire plant at maturity or use the cut and come again method to take outer leaves while allowing the center to keep producing. Bok choy has a mild, slightly sweet flavor with crisp, juicy stems that are wonderful in stir-fries, soups, and fresh salads. Succession plant a new container every 3 weeks, and you will always have a fresh batch coming along. The 11th vegetable that explodes with growth indoors is the hot pepper, and compact varieties are perfect for sunny windowsills. Thai peppers, Tabasco, and the ornamental but fully edible Apache pepper all stay small and produce heavily in containers. Sow seeds 1/4 inch deep in pots at least 8 inches wide and place them in your brightest location, as peppers need at least 8 hours of strong light to fruit well. Use a grow light if your window light is not sufficient. Peppers like warm temperatures between 70 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit, which most apartments provide easily. Water when the top inch of soil is dry, and feed every 2 weeks with a fertilizer that is higher in phosphorus and potassium to encourage flowering and fruit set. Hand pollinate by gently tapping the flowers or using a small brush. A single Thai pepper plant can produce 100 or more small fiery peppers over a season. They are beautiful plants too, with colorful fruits that look striking on a kitchen windowsill. The 12th vegetable for indoor growers is the dwarf bush bean, and these compact plants are surprisingly productive in containers. Varieties like Mascot and Top Crop stay under 12 to 15 inches tall and produce generous clusters of crisp, tender pods without needing any trellising or support. Sow seeds 1 inch deep and 3 inches apart in a container at least 8 inches deep with well-draining potting mix. Give them at least 6 to 8 hours of bright light and keep the soil evenly moist. Beans germinate quickly, usually within 5 to 7 days, and begin producing pods in about 50 to 60 days. Feed lightly, because beans fix their own nitrogen, and too much fertilizer produces lush foliage at the expense of pods. Pick pods regularly when they are 4 to 5 inches long and still slender, and the plant will continue setting new ones. A single large pot with 4 or 5 plants can give you enough fresh green beans for several meals. Coming in at number 13 are dwarf snap peas, and they bring a burst of sweetness to your indoor garden. Compact varieties like Tom Thumb and Patio Pride stay under 2 feet tall and produce sweet, edible pods on short, bushy vines that only need a small stake or a short trellis for support. Sow seeds 1 inch deep and 2 inches apart in a deep container, at least 10 inches, because peas develop extensive root systems. They prefer cool conditions between 55 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So place them near a cooler window rather than a warm radiator. Give them 6 to 8 hours of bright light and keep the soil evenly moist. Peas germinate in 7 to 14 days and produce pods in about 60 days. The tender sweet pods are one of the best snacking vegetables you can grow and taste extraordinary fresh off the vine. Kids and grandkids love picking and eating them straight from the plant. The 14th indoor vegetable is the baby carrot, and short-rooted varieties make container growing easy and rewarding. Forget the long, deep-rooted types that need 12 inches of loose soil. Instead, choose compact varieties like Parisian, a round, marble-shaped carrot, or little finger, a slender 3 to 4 inch variety that performs beautifully in shallow pots. Sow seeds 1/4 inch deep in a container at least 6 to 8 inches deep with loose, stone-free potting mix. Carrots need consistent moisture for smooth root development and at least 6 hours of light. Thin seedlings to 1 inch apart once they are 1 inch tall. Germination takes 1 to 3 weeks, so be patient. Harvest in about 60 to 70 days when the tops of the roots peak above the soil and show good color. The flavor of freshly pulled indoor carrots is remarkably sweet and crisp, nothing like the woody, bland carrots you find in grocery bags. Grow a fresh container every month for a continuous supply. The 15th vegetable on our list is beets, and compact varieties are perfectly suited to indoor containers. Sow seeds 1/2 inch deep and 3 inches apart, in a pot at least 8 inches deep with loose, well-draining soil. Bull's blood is a stunning variety with deep burgundy leaves that are as beautiful as they are nutritious. Chioggia produces candy-striped roots when sliced, and Golden Detroit has a mild, sweet flavor with vibrant yellow flesh. Give beets at least 5 to 6 hours of bright light and keep the soil consistently moist. Like carrots, beets give you a 2 for 1 harvest of nutritious greens and sweet, earthy roots. Begin harvesting outer leaves for salads once the plant is well established, and pull the roots in about 55 to 70 days when they reach 2 inches in diameter. Beet greens are loaded with iron, fiber, and vitamins, and they taste wonderful sautéed with garlic and olive oil. Coming in at number 16 is celery, and while most people think of it as a garden crop, celery actually does very well indoors. The easiest method is to regrow it from a kitchen scrap. Cut the stalks off a store-bought bunch and save the bottom 2 inches. Place the base cut side up in a shallow dish of water in a bright spot. Within a few days, tiny new leaves will emerge from the center. After a week, transplant into a pot at least 8 inches deep with rich, moist potting mix. Celery loves consistent moisture, so never let the soil dry out completely. Give it at least 5 to 6 hours of light and feed monthly with a balanced liquid fertilizer. You will not get the thick, crunchy stalks you see at the store, but you will produce plenty of tender, flavorful inner stalks and leaves that are perfect for soups, stews, tuna salad, and snacking. The regrowing process alone is fascinating to watch and makes a wonderful project. The 17th indoor vegetable is the mushroom, and while it is technically a fungus, it belongs on this list because it is one of the most productive things you can grow in an apartment with almost no light at all. Oyster mushrooms are the best variety for beginners because they grow fast, tolerate a range of conditions, and produce abundantly. You can buy a ready-made mushroom growing kit that includes pre-inoculated substrate or start from scratch with straw and oyster mushroom spawn. Mushrooms prefer cool, dark, humid environments, making a closet, a cabinet under the sink, or a shaded corner of a bathroom ideal growing spots. Mist the growing medium twice a day to maintain high humidity. Oyster mushrooms can go from inoculation to harvest in as little as 2 to 3 weeks, and each kit or batch can produce multiple flushes of mushrooms over several weeks. The flavor of freshly harvested oyster mushrooms is delicate, savory, and far superior to anything from the store. The 18th vegetable to grow indoors is garlic greens. You do not need a garden bed or a full growing season to enjoy the flavor of garlic. Simply take a few cloves from a garlic bulb, push them 1 inch deep into a small pot of soil with the pointy end facing up, and water gently. Place the pot in a bright window, and within a week you will see green shoots reaching upward. Those garlic greens have a fresh, mild garlic flavor that is outstanding in stir-fries, scrambled eggs, pasta, and salads. You can snip the greens repeatedly, and each clove will keep pushing new growth. This is one of the lowest effort, highest reward indoor crops because it requires almost no space, very little light compared to fruiting crops, and produces usable food within days. A single small pot with 5 or 6 cloves takes up less room than a coffee mug and gives you weeks of continuous harvest. Coming in at number 19 is the dwarf cucumber, and compact varieties bred for containers bring this classic summer vegetable indoors. Bush Champion and Space Master are 2 excellent varieties that stay compact and produce full-sized, crisp cucumbers without long, sprawling vines. Sow seeds 1/2 inch deep in a pot, at least 12 inches wide, and deep with rich, well-draining potting. Mix. Cucumbers are warm weather crops that need at least 8 hours of strong light, so a south-facing window plus supplemental grow lighting is ideal. Keep temperatures between 70 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, water consistently, and feed every 2 weeks once flowering begins. You will need to hand pollinate indoors by gently transferring pollen from male flowers to female flowers with a small paintbrush. Female flowers have a tiny cucumber-shaped swelling behind the blossom. A single bush cucumber plant can produce 8 to 12 fruits per season indoors, which is plenty for fresh eating, salads, and snacking. The 20th vegetable for apartment growers is baby potatoes, and yes, you really can grow them inside. Choose a container at least 12 to 14 inches deep, like a fabric grow bag or a large bucket with drainage holes. Plant seed potato pieces or small whole potatoes with visible eyes about 4 inches deep in a few inches of potting mix. As the shoots emerge and grow 6 inches tall, add more soil around the stems, leaving just the top few inches of foliage exposed. This hilling process encourages more tubers to form along the buried stem. Repeat until the container is full. Potatoes need at least 6 hours of bright light and consistent moisture. Compact varieties like Yukon Gold and Red Norland work well in containers. In about 70 to 90 days, the foliage will yellow and die back. Tip the container out and you will find a satisfying cluster of homegrown potatoes. The yield is smaller than an outdoor garden, but the experience of harvesting potatoes from your living room is unforgettable. The 21st vegetable on our list is ginger, and this is the one I teased at the beginning, because most people have no idea it grows beautifully indoors. Fresh ginger root from the grocery store is all you need. Look for a plump, firm piece with visible growth buds, those small bumps or nubs on the surface. Soak it overnight, then plant it. 1 inch deep in a wide, shallow pot with rich, well-draining potting mix with the buds pointing up. Ginger loves warmth, humidity, and indirect light, making it a perfect fit for most apartments. Water regularly without letting the soil get soggy. In 2 to 3 weeks, green shoots will emerge and slowly unfurl into lush, tropical-looking foliage. Over 8 to 10 months, thick, aromatic rhizomes develop underground. When the leaves yellow and die back, tip the pot and harvest your ginger. You will be amazed at how much that small grocery store piece has multiplied. Fresh homegrown ginger is incredibly fragrant and flavorful, far superior to the dried powder. Coming in at number 22 is sweet potato greens, and this is a creative indoor crop that most gardeners completely overlook. Instead of trying to grow full tubers indoors, which requires a lot of space and soil depth, grow sweet potato slips for their highly nutritious edible greens. Suspend a sweet potato over a jar. Water using toothpicks with the bottom third submerged. Within 1 to 2 weeks, leafy green slips will sprout from the top. Once those slips are 5 to 6 inches long, twist them off, place them in water to root, then transplant into pots of moist potting mix. The vines will grow vigorously, producing heart-shaped leaves that are eaten in many cultures around the world. Sweet potato greens taste similar to spinach with a slightly earthy flavor, and they are loaded with vitamins A, C, and B, plus iron and protein. Sauté them with garlic, add them to soups, or eat them fresh in salads. One sweet potato can generate dozens of slips, giving you an almost endless supply of nutritious greens. The 23rd indoor vegetable is mung bean sprouts, and this is by far the fastest crop on the entire list. You do not even need soil or light. Rinse a handful of dried mung beans, soak them in water overnight, then drain and transfer them to a jar covered with cheesecloth or a sprouting lid. Rinse and drain the beans twice a day, keeping the jar in a warm, dark spot like a kitchen cabinet. In just 3 to 5 days, you will have a jar full of crisp, fresh bean sprouts ready to eat. They are fantastic in stir-fries, spring rolls, salads, sandwiches, and ramen. Sprouts are packed with protein, fiber, and vitamin C and K. You can start a new batch every few days so you always have fresh sprouts on hand. The entire process uses almost no space, requires zero special equipment, and costs just pennies per batch. This is the ultimate apartment gardening project for anyone who wants fast, nutritious results. The 24th vegetable for indoor growing is the dwarf eggplant, and compact varieties produce stunning fruits right on your windowsill. Fairy Tale is a beautiful, award-winning variety with small purple and white striped fruits and a compact growth habit that stays manageable in a 12-inch pot. Hansel is another excellent choice with slender, glossy purple fruits that are perfect for slicing and grilling. Sow seeds a 1/4 inch deep in warm potting mix and give them as much light as possible, at least 8 to 10 hours daily from a south-facing window or grow light. Eggplants love warmth, so keep temperatures between 70 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Water consistently and feed every 2 weeks with a balanced fertilizer once flowers appear. Hand pollinate by gently shaking the flowers or tapping the stems to release pollen. A healthy dwarf eggplant can produce 6 to 10 fruits per plant over a season indoors. The fruits have a creamy, mild flavor that is delicious roasted, grilled, or stirred into pasta sauces. The 25th and final vegetable on our list is turnip greens, and this crop rounds out the list with a nutritious, fast-growing option that thrives in indoor containers. You can grow turnips for their peppery, nutrient-dense greens, even if you do not have room for the roots to fully develop. Sow seeds a 1/4 inch deep and 1 inch apart in a container at least 6 inches deep with moist, well-draining potting mix. Tokyo Cross and Purple Top White Globe are both reliable varieties. Give them at least 5 to 6 hours of bright light and keep the soil evenly moist. Turnip greens grow rapidly, and you can begin harvesting young outer leaves in as few as 20 to 30 days. They are rich in calcium, vitamins A and C, and fiber, and they have a pleasant, mildly peppery bite that works well sautéed, steamed, or fresh in salads. If you let some of the plants grow a bit longer, you will also get small, tender turnip roots as a bonus. Succession sow a new container every 3 weeks, and you will have a dependable supply of fresh greens throughout the year. And now for the bonus tip gardeners swear by. If you want every vegetable on this list to grow faster, produce more, and stay healthier indoors, start bottom watering your containers instead of watering from the top. Place your pots in a shallow tray or saucer. Fill the tray with water and let the soil absorb moisture upward through the drainage holes. After 30 minutes, pour out any remaining water in the tray. This method delivers moisture directly to the root zone where the plant needs it most, encourages roots to grow deeper and stronger, and keeps the soil surface drier, which dramatically reduces the risk of fungus gnats, the #1 indoor gardening pest. Top watering often creates a chronically damp surface that attracts gnats and can lead to damping off disease in seedlings. Bottom watering avoids both problems entirely. Combined with consistent light and regular feeding, this simple technique is the difference between struggling indoor plants and ones that truly explode with growth. Thanks for sticking with me through the entire video. Before you go, if you want to take your garden to the next level this season, I really think you should check out the guide I put together. It is called the 60-Day System for your first abundant harvest. It is a complete day-by-day plan with the planting calendar, the raised bed blueprint, and a pest and disease field guide all in one place. Click the link in the description to grab it, or scan the QR code on screen with your phone camera. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and check out some of our other videos on growing a better garden.